guys, welcome to Good Morning CYPRUS show. On this show today, we'll be having someone behind the platform, the Rose of Sharon platform, and it's no other person than Sharon Sooli. Sharon, you're welcome to Good Morning CYPRUS show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate.
All right. We heard about the Rose of Sharon platform. We've been hearing the Rose of Sharon platform.
Yes.
Quite often, and we really do not know what the Rose of Sharon platform is all about.
Yeah.
Please, can you enlighten us on the Rose of Sharon platform?
Sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. The Rose of Sharon is actually a God-given platform which emphasizes on uniqueness, our uniqueness in God, and it's a healing platform. Let me put it that way. Thank you.
Okay. So what's the message or the caption of the Rose of Sharon platform? What's it all about?
Okay. The main message of the Rose of Sharon is our uniqueness in God and us realizing that God created us for a reason individually. So it's just preaching further the message of God, but through us understanding that we're unique in Him.
So, like, does the Rose of Sharon platform, does it have any branches?
Yes, it does actually, and the term branches comes from actually the physical rose itself, and this is like sessions of the platform which we have per year, which like we do different things to like preach the gospel of it further. Yeah.
Okay. Does the Rose of Sharon platform has anything to do with spirituality? Does it have a spiritual backing?
Definitely. It actually has, because God wants us to realize who we are and to realize who we are in Him. That's the most important thing that He wants us to know. And so there are these different scriptures that actually talk about how we're different parts of one body and we ought to complement each other, but as well realize that we're important individually to God. And so I would say that, of course, definitely there are a lot of scriptures in the Word of God that talk about, you know, the importance of us working together, even though we're different and we're unique and we've got different abilities to achieve different things, but we do need each other. So yes, it has got a spiritual backing in every way.
So the Rose of Sharon, when you talk about Rose of Sharon, you talk about uniqueness.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So uniqueness in what aspect?
Well, this entails uniqueness in every way. Uniqueness of a person in every manner. It can be through your physique, it can be through your talent, or any other thing that you can do that you look at the next person and you say, okay, this person might not have this, but this can benefit the next person.
We talk about uniqueness. There are so many things we can say about uniqueness.
Yes, ma'am.
So does it have like a definite purpose it played in your life before you came out and God told you about this platform?
Yes, ma'am. It does actually. Well, I'll start first of all by saying maybe a little bit of a background story of myself and how it just came about having all these things together. First of all, I was born with a feet disorder, of which they had to straighten my feet and my bones for me to be able to walk, and that caused my feet to look different, and for me to just rhyming with other children, it was really different. And I always noticed that there was something different about me, but I didn't really figure it out at a certain stage, because, you know, I always took myself like a child, like any other person or any other child out there. But like when time went by, I noticed that most people, or even the children at my age at that time, they would laugh at me and mock me. Sometimes they'll say, you're not walking right, or you're not looking right in these shoes, or when you wear shoes they bend, or you wear shoes you look like you're not comfortable. So like all those things began now to play a certain role in my mind, you know. I began to feel like, yeah, maybe there's something really different about me, and maybe I'm not good enough like the rest of the kids, or I'm not looking as good as them, you know. And so it continued that way, and it began to really bring my esteem really low, because now I began to think like maybe I would never really fit in. And I everywhere I would go, I would actually put myself outside the box and feel like I don't deserve to be there because of how I look like, because most of the time I was made fun of. And when somebody notices my feet, they'll definitely say, does your foot have a problem, or are you okay? So like it became something that I became conscious of, that I'm definitely not the same as everybody else, and maybe I'm not really good enough. So yeah, uniqueness played a very big role, and it played in my earlier life in a negative way, because I was unique, but I noticed I was unique but in a negative way. But then when I met God, he began to show me that I was unique in him. I was beautiful. Despite my faults, he loved me the way I was. And I believe that's where the Rose of Sharon had to be birthed from.
So is it like this? Is it like a process? Was it like a process for you to evolve into embracing your uniqueness?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, it was a process, because everything was going on. I did not really understand. Everything was happening. I was unique, yes, but in a bad way. I still didn't understand that I was unique at all. But when I came to now, grow up and begin to understand certain things, and now when I had the relationship with God, that's when now it made sense. It came together that okay, I was unique then, but I just didn't know, and it just had to evolve for me to understand that I'm unique, but in a beautiful way, in a good way, in a godly way, the way God wants me to see myself.
And now you're ready that you'll be able to pick other people in your shoes the way you were before.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
think you can take other people through this journey of uniqueness for them to embrace their unique personalities.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you have a testimony on this, and you're sure your platform is going to encourage and put stuffs out there that would help people to embrace their uniqueness.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what your platform is about.
Definitely. I mean, God gives us so that we may give others. I mean, he started by working on me first, and he makes sure that he's given you what is enough so that we can share with others. Sometimes I might not be even at that place that I feel like this is already enough that God has given, but I mean, from what God gives us, we're able to share with others, no matter the amount of it at that moment. I believe that from where God has gotten me from to this point where now I'm getting confident, because I'm still under process, by the way. I'm still learning to believe that I'm unique. I'm still learning to see myself the way God sees me. And so I believe with what God has given me, it has really helped me actually. It has changed certain things that I never thought were actually possible to change. Like the way I could look at myself in the mirror and think I was ugly or I was not good looking enough. Now I can look at the mirror and say, oh, Sharon, you're cute, you're nice, you're unique the way you are, and I like that. And so I believe to the point where I am today, I can share what God has given me until this point with the rest of the people. Yeah.
How do we separate the brand, your platform, from you as a minister? Because I know you're a minister.
Yeah, I get this question so much. Well, the minister is Sharon Sooli, and the Rose of Sharon is a platform that speaks about uniqueness. This is like God, putting a minister here and saying, okay, I've given you something extra to be attached to, and this is the Rose of Sharon for me. And so, of course, I'm a minister through songs, and my songs carry healing, and the Rose of Sharon as well, as I said before, this is a platform that as well carries healing. And so you can see that it's the same message, is just being portrayed in a different way or in different language, I would say.
And your name, the name Rose of Sharon, was it better from your name?
Yeah, I get also that question a lot. Well, the funny thing is that actually I came to realize that the Rose of Sharon statement, that statement itself had the name Sharon after such a long time. When God gave to me the Rose of Sharon, because he spoke to me when I was actually in a time where I was asking him what he created me to do, and I kept on trying to find out my purpose in him. And I knew he called me into songs, but like I just wanted to know, because I always felt there was more, so I wanted to know what was that more that I kept feeling. And when God whispered to me the Rose of Sharon, I just received it like that, and it was during the time when I was seeking God. And so when I received it like that, I was like, okay, the Rose of Sharon. I wrote it down. When I asked the Lord, what is this, or what do you want to use this for? And he told me, this is a platform, and you're going to bring healing through speaking about uniqueness, the uniqueness of people. The people should realize that I've created them, and the way I've created them, it's the way I wanted them to be. You know, and so from that, I didn't really realize that my name was part of it. Honestly, I came to realize after through, you know, the process of researching and, you know, just trying to find out more about it, I came to realize, oh, my name is also here. And so I came to also research the meaning of my name, because, you know, when I received it, I had to do a lot of research to also understand the term, what it's used for. I found out how it's connected as well to Jesus, and I came to find out as well that Jesus was unique, you know, and so there's just a lot of it. But definitely I came to understand later that this is what God was trying to say, that he started it with me and he wants me to also give it to others. So yeah, I found my name there. And I bless the Lord for it.
That's quite amazing.
Yes,
so when we see uniqueness,
Yes, ma'am.
why do you consider people to embrace their uniqueness? Why do you consider uniqueness as so important for people to look into?
Thank you so much for that question. I love it a lot. I consider uniqueness very important because I believe personally it's the first step that a person can take to understand their purpose. Because, you know, uniqueness allows you to be in a place where you begin to see the things that God has placed inside of you personally, and without comparison, without looking at what the next person can do, you sit down and you say, okay, I'm going to just centralize this information on myself. And you start looking, okay, God, what did God place in me? What did God want me to do as Sharon to the world? You know, and from that point, when you just realize, okay, there's something I can do that I believe I can do it and the next person is going to be blessed, that changes a lot about you. You know, you forget competition, you forget anxiousness, you forget depression. You know, like for example, I would give the case of us who are in Cyprus. We've been hearing a lot of cases about suicide, you know, young people dying for so many reasons. And you know, when I came to really like research more on most cases, you find out that most people feel so depressed and they feel so lost, and some don't even have a direction, or most of them found themselves doing things that they did not even plan to, you know, in that sad situation. And I believe that as young people, if we embrace the path where we choose to understand first of all who we are in God, and then get to see the future through that, it will be easier for us to have somewhere we're going. It will be easier for us to see a goal, because then you say that, okay, I'm good at tailoring maybe, and you say, okay, maybe in the next few years I'm gonna be a fashion designer because I can do the tailoring job and I can do all those things. So like, I believe when you understand your uniqueness, you are on the first step to you understanding what God has called you to do, and that's your purpose, and you get to answer the question why you're on earth. And that's really, really, really important, because I've heard Pastor Miles Monroe, may so rest in peace, he always used to say we have to answer 5 questions as human beings on why we're here on earth, why we live, why we exist, you know. And the main question was actually the why. Why are you there? And so I believe uniqueness helps you to answer that why question, and it keeps you to that in that place where you're at peace and you understand where you're going. Thank you so much.
So is that why we always see this match on your dress, on your white shirt?
Yeah.
Is it also part of your brand?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can say so, because it's when you see anything that is attached to the Rose of Sharon, it can be even this logo or this beautiful
Wow.
shirt, yeah. All this that you see that is portrayed as part of the Rose of Sharon is simply to just preach the message out there. And yes, we do have merch actually, and of course it's part of what I'm wearing and part of this shirt as well. And there's actually more that is meant to be prepared, that of course is now going to be distributed to the world. But as for now, it's under preparation, and yeah, be ready, because it's amazing.
So will you be selling the merch?
Yeah, definitely. When, of course, we need to support the ministry, the business to go further, and we need, of course, the finances.
Wow, it's actually beautiful. Looking at it, actually,
Yeah.
it looks so beautiful, and it's really symbolized uniqueness.
Yeah.
You know the rose flower itself is a unique flower.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Thank you
So
much.
it's so beautiful.
That's why it's actually there. because it also came spiritually. It wasn't just because it's the rose of Sharon and I just thought of placing the rose there. It's so unique that actually when I was, in the same process of actually discovering who and what I am in God, I was really interested in the rose flower, and I always had a particular interest in it because I found it to be so intriguing and unique. And I used to just go through so many researches, and at the end of the day, when God gave me the platform, he now assured me that definitely it was part of it, and yeah, he put everything.
So that's why we have a rose flower here, right? We have a beautiful rose flower with us here. Yeah, so if you don't know rose flower, this is rose flower. Oh wow.
One of the most unique flowers on earth. Everybody wants to use a rose flower for almost any occasion. This did not just come because it's the rose of Sharon, by the way. This came because God began to explain to me actually the uniqueness of a rose. And funny enough, I had begun to research about roses even before I think received the platform, because like there was a time when I was really interested in Catherine Kuhlman. I think you know her. Kumar. Yeah, our former general.
Blessed memory.
Yeah. So when I was watching most of her content, I didn't really know that there was something about her that God was trying to attach to my life. But like, I watched a certain part of her story, and her favorite flower was actually a rose flower. And that really intrigued me, without me actually knowing that there was actually a word upon my life that I would carry that mantle. And within that time, that's the time when I got really interested in the rose, and I started like doing my research more about it and why the rose, why do people love the rose flower and all that. And the main message that I received from actually the research of everybody was that the rose flower is the most unique flower. Everybody wants to use the rose flower because there's a content about it, there's something about it that everybody wants to be attached to, and so at that moment it just hit my mind that, oh, okay, this is it. This is something that is really attached to me as well. And for more confirmations, it's when now I began to receive words about Catherine Kuhlman and all that. And so it all just came together as a pack that, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. And the symbol of the rose of Sharon is supposed to be a rose. And this, of course, God had to confirm this as well. And so that's how the logo came about. That's how all these things were put together with the rose. So it has its own story as well. Yeah, thank you so much.
So do you mind sharing your platform, like telling the people about your platform, so
Definitely.
we can go in there and check out your content, then we get encouraged?
Definitely. I have an Instagram page, and it's Sharon Sooli, and I also have one which I'm trying to build. Is called That Special Lily, and that one is actually the one which is going to be mainly focused on the Rose of Sharon content, of which we are really working hard to grow it. And as well, I have a YouTube channel, of which that one of course is going to come as well with a part of me of songs and part of the content for the Rose of Sharon as well. Thank you so much.
This is amazing. So what would you want to tell your viewers? Do you have anything you want to encourage or tell them about? Because your merch is actually speaking a lot.
Yeah.
The Rose of Sharon brand, the merch itself, the rose flower is a unique flower, and most people want to get accustomed with it. So definitely. You're trying to tell us we should embrace our uniqueness.
Yes.
Because we are special, just as the rose of Sharon.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you have anything you would like to explain to us or tell us or encourage your viewers?
Definitely. I would just like to encourage all of us that reach at that place where you ask God, why you and why you're here. I used to listen to ministrations of Pastor Miles Monroe, and he used to talk about the 5 questions that a human being needs to answer for as long as you want to live according to your purpose and according to what specifically God created you for. There were certain questions that you needed to ask yourself, and one of the main questions was why do you exist? Why are you there? There's a reason why you individually exist, and it takes only God to reveal it to you. Because I always give this example that if the chair was created by somebody, and we didn't know that it was meant to be sat on, then we would have never known the use of it, because you would have thought maybe you just use it to sleep or you use it to put your plates on. But for the fact that the creator of the chair taught people that, okay, fine, I created this content and this is meant to be sat on. So it's the same with us and God. We ought to really reach out to God and discover what God specifically created us for. And like mainly that starts with us understanding that, okay, there's something that God put inside of me that this other person does not have. And once you realize that thing, it saves you from almost everything that we struggle with today. You know, we see so many youth struggling with depression. We see so many youth struggling with lost, like they're just lost. You know, they don't understand where they're going, they don't understand where they're coming from, or they might actually be living a life but it's not fulfilling them. Because why? They don't understand that reason, that why God created them. And so uniqueness will help you to, and it will draw you closer to understanding the purpose that God has for you. And so yearn to discover who you are in God. Yearn to discover that distinct fact about you that makes you different from other people. And that's actually what helps us as well to brew wealth, you know, because wealth comes from a place where you create something that another person does not have, and that's why they would be able to pay for it. And so if you want to be able to live in that and enjoy yourself, not just for the money, discover your uniqueness, discover your purpose, and live in it. And as you live in it, it's going to produce even money for you, because then you begin to sell out what others do not have, and that of course would brew a lot of finances for you as well.
So you're saying if you're disabled, you're unique.
Yes.
If you have any issues on your body that you feel is a limitation to your moving forward, that's your uniqueness.
That's your uniqueness.
So you should embrace your uniqueness.
Embrace it.
Thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for explaining to us about the Rose of Sharon platform.
Yes,
we are really honored to have you, Miss Sharon.
I am so honored as well. Thank you
so much for staying with us on this show. Thank you for viewing. Please do not hesitate to share, like, and subscribe to this channel. It's Good Morning Cyprus. Thank you.